Hello. For those of you who are having issues with your instance of SQL Manager Lite from EMS software, if you fail to install the correct version, you can always tell if you have the correct version installed. We're not going to do an update. I'm going to advise against that. But if you go Help and About, and you're running other than the freeware version, it is possible that it will expire sometime, and probably sometime soon. If this is true for you, the other tool I am going to recommend that you run is Workbench from MySQL. It's actually from Oracle. Oracle, who has taken over the MySQL development, has released Workbench, and it is compatible with the Mariah database. For this to work, you need to Google MySQL Workbench, all right? And go to the downloads page. Now, on this page, it wants you to download version 8.0.27. But with this version, and this may be just a bug of this version, I'm unsure, it insists on at least an SSL connection, which we don't have configured in our environment. So do not download 8.0.27, please. Go to the archives and download 8.0.26 rather than 8.2.07. We do not need the latest version. We're going to use the one version previous, and in our case it's 8.0.26. So download that, save your file, and once you have it downloaded, it should be in your downloads directory. Once downloaded, launch the installer. And it is a typical install at this point. It is not in the Microsoft verified App Store. We're going to install anyway. The defaults are fine. Once the installation is complete, you do need to verify that your instance of Debian is up and running. Once it is complete, it's going to want to launch MySQL Workbench, and that's fine because we want to make a connection right away. Okay? For us to make a connection, as always, we must understand our environment. Here is my target instance of Debian that is running my MySQL, or in our case, Mariah database. So we're going to log in. Verify our IP address. It is, in our case, 223. Perfect. Okay, once we have verified our IP address, we can create a new connection. We're going to give our connection whatever name we want to give it. I'm just going to call it blog. Of course, the host name is the IP address we just verified in Debian. 192.168.56.223. Typos will get you every time. The username is the remote account we created to manage this, not the local connection that we use as our connection string within the application. If you followed my notes, that connection was blog user. We created a second account called blog admin that allowed us to connect to our database from a non-local host connection. Then it's just a process of setting the password based on what you set it when you set it up. It could be password, it could be blog admin, whatever you did. Okay? Once you go to test it, it says it probably doesn't like what it's seeing, but it's going to make a connection for us. Now, this may be a compatibility issue between Mariah and MySQL, but regardless, it looks like it's going to work. Once you have a connection created, you'll see this little icon with the connection name that you set up, and you can click on that to open up and administer your databases. Okay, here is our database here. We can expand it, and we can do things like take a look at the members table. You can select members, right click, and select rows, and it'll allow you to take a look at the data and modify as necessary. You can also right click and select the Alter table. And that should open up a new dialog box which allows us to add or remove columns. Now there's extra information up here. We can hide that to lower it. And if you want to add, if you want to take away a column, for example, you can highlight it, right click, and delete that column. But we need that. We want to add a new one. What we do is we go down to the bottom of the list and just start typing. Okay? So for example, when we need to create an email, right? We just select email. The data type, as I said before, would be something like text. Just the text, standard text. Okay, and then once it's done, you would then click on the apply button. Don't want to create that extra one, right? So you can click on the apply, and it's doing the alter statement, and then it shows that it is finished. So a lot of the things that we've done before we can do. And as I said, you can also remove a column as well. So I can drop the column email and apply and finish, and then my column is gone. So it's a little different on the maintenance side, but it will give you those features. And if you get stuck with them, I can of course help you with them. That's it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.